So I fully admit I really haven't watched much of a hockey game in 7 years. It is a wildly entertaining sport. But now the National Hockey League is going out of their way to pander to woke ideology, diversity, equity, inclusion, affirmative action guidelines, hockey of all sports. I'm really getting upset about this. So they want to diversify the National Hockey League. Why don't they want to diversify the National Basketball Association? Why? Why don't you want good coaches? You want some diversity hire? All the coaches are white. So what? What does that have to do with anything? Oh, blacks only want to play for blacks? Oh, because they're so racist? How about that Tampa Bay coach? He says, all you guys want to talk about is race all the time. And now the National Hockey League wants to bring in this diversity nonsense. Also, it's a very expensive sport. You could try to fix that. You could try to have hockey rinks and all that. There is not a lot of compelling interest in black culture and black America to go play hockey. And by the way, if there's a lot in Canada, there's a lot in Minnesota, there's a lot in the Dakotas. Basketball's a cheap sport to play.
Okay, so that wet pile of white mediocrity seems to be missing the thing where on the right wing, you're supposed to reassure your audience that you're a racist, but be like a little bit subtle about it. I think you forgot the subtlety, Charlie Kirk. That was just racism. That's all that was. I do want to say though, a little bit of respect. So when we are putting together a rundown on the damage report, we have to balance a lot of different concerns. Primarily, we want to make sure that we're accurately reflecting a broad range of topics, make sure that people watching the show will know a little bit about what's going on. They have to do the exact opposite of that. They don't want you to know what's actually going on. They just have to find something to have an issue with some sort of connotations of racism, misogyny, homophobia, transphobia, or whatever. And so look at what Charlie Kirk had to do there. He doesn't watch hockey. He doesn't care about hockey. He described it as wildly entertaining, and yet he hasn't watched it for 7 years. How wildly entertaining is it? And he really, he makes it clear how little he actually cares about this when he says mid-rant, I'm getting really mad about this. No, you're trying to get really mad about this because you know that you're supposed to be mad about this, but you have to force yourself into that because you don't really care. You don't watch it. You don't care about the racial diversity in the NHL or the NBA or anywhere else. You just know that you're supposed to take the stance that diversity, equity, inclusion, all those things are bad. And thus, that's one of the reasons why he is among the least talented of the clones of Ben Shapiro. It just comes across as so artificial and yet very, very racist. AB, what do you think?
Very, very, very racist, right? If you don't watch the sport, why do you care if it's diversified, right? Is it because you fear that you're getting replaced by the other people that are gonna come in and be able to participate, right? So this just goes to continue this whole replacement theory and feeling like if we allowed inclusion, then we might get pushed out, right? And that's one of the issues that we had with the founding fathers, right? Where they were like, ooh, who should we let vote? Because if we let everybody vote, they may vote us out. So we're just gonna keep it to ourselves for now, and then hopefully they figure it out later. Well, the later has come and people are figuring it out. To make the comment about basketball being a cheap sport, absolutely is not, okay? I was a basketball player and a coach for many years. It's not cheap, but it does take talent, right? And it takes effort. And I think anyone who has the talent and effort and the discipline and the willingness to participate in any sport that they desire should do so. Now, just because you may not see a lot of black people in some of these areas where hockey is a big deal, does not mean that we should be keeping them out because you just don't feel like we should be diverse around here. What does it matter if we're diverse?
And if I had to guess, my guess would be that the NHL wants more diversity because they want more diverse viewers.
They want the
ticket
views.
Sales and
why
merch.
Wouldn't they?
and merch, definitely. Why wouldn't they?